MAGA Mike Johnson just humiliated himself after he was asked to comment about Trump calling for Democratic members to be executed. All day, Trump's comments have taken the internet by storm, and Republicans have been scrambling to defend him like the suck-ups they are. After months of screaming to tone down the rhetoric, they are now calling for Democratic members of Congress to face the death penalty. And the fact that not one Republican can condemn Trump for this shows you where their priorities truly lie. So stick around to hear Mike Johnson and other MAGA members do mental gymnastics to justify this, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. So this story has been absolutely blowing up, and we've had countless people on the right come to defend Donald Trump. But let's first take a second to think about the fact that this is the same party who was yelling at Democrats for supposedly promoting violent rhetoric. In fact, a reporter confronted Caroline Leavitt on this point exactly today, and she completely dodged the question.
Can I just follow up? The president and the vice president, for that matter, have accused the other side of encouraging political violence. Isn't that exactly what the president is doing when he says that members of Congress should be killed?
Why aren't you talking about what these members of Congress are doing to encourage and incite violence? They are literally saying to 1.3 million active duty service members not to defy the chain of command, not to follow lawful orders.
Actually,
every single
can refuse an illegal order, which is
they're suggesting, Nancy, that the president has given illegal orders, which he has not. Every single order that is given to this United States military by this commander-in-chief and through this chain of command, through the Secretary of War, is lawful. And the courts have proven that. This administration has an unparalleled record at the Supreme Court because we are following the laws. We don't defy court orders. We do things by the books. And to suggest and encourage that active duty service members defy the chain of command is a very dangerous thing for sitting members of Congress to do. And they should be held accountable, and that's what the president wants to see.
This is Caroline Leavitt defending Trump for calling for the deaths of Democratic senators. If this doesn't scream violent rhetoric, then I don't know what does. But don't worry, everyone. According to J.D. Vance from a speech this morning, Trump is not a violent person, so clearly we're just making this all up, right?
And he just, he's a tough guy, but he's not a violent human. Like he's not a person, who I think understands violence at a sort of fundamental level. It's like, why don't you stop killing each other and start trading with one another? Why, rather than Russia and Ukraine killing one another, why don't they actually engage in some commerce with one another, travel between the two countries, engage in some sort of cultural exchange? That is his fundamental perspective that he takes into these things. And fundamentally, if we get more peace in the world, it's good for American workers, it's good for the American people, and the president's going to keep on pursuing peace. He's done very well so far, but he's going to keep on working at it.
Now, I think that Republicans realize that this is a losing strategy because at the end of a press conference, Caroline Leavitt just ran off. And what makes this even funnier is that a reporter was correcting her because she was lying to the reporters. Just take a look at this.
Brian.
Thank you, Caroline. Two questions. You were talking about earlier in this briefing about the president's orders. You were going back and forth about what the ad said and what it didn't say. My first question is
the ad,
the advertisement that the Senate Democrats were featured in. So my first question is, no matter what the order is, it could be to any administration official, military or otherwise, no matter if legal experts might think it's illegal, does the president expect those cabinet members, administration officials to go ahead with those orders regardless of any outside thinking or experts?
The president expects his cabinet officials and the administration to follow the law and to demand accountability and hold people accountable for their dangerous rhetoric. And I would just add that if this were Republican members of Congress who were encouraging members of the military and members of our United States government to defy orders from the president and from the chain of command, this entire room would be up in arms. But instead, it is the other way around, and I think that's quite telling. I'm going to let you all go because the president, excuse me, I appreciate the encouragement this afternoon, but President Trump is about to meet in minutes with Israeli hostages who this administration freed, and so I'm going to go up to that meeting, and you will hear more about that later. Thank you.
You misquoted Democrats in that video. That's actually not what they said.
Good on those reporters for actually giving Caroline Leavitt a hard time. They definitely could have pushed back a little bit more, but I'll take what I can get. Now, it wasn't just Caroline Leavitt defending Trump today. We had multiple members of Congress hopping on and refusing to denounce what Trump said, and some even encouraging it. I mean, Mike Johnson had the nerve to call what the lawmakers said very dangerous, while completely ignoring the fact that Trump literally called for them to be executed.
How you doing? The president posted that Democrats who urge service members to not follow illegal orders should be punished. It should be seditious, conspiracy, and punishable by death. Do you have any response to that?
Look, I know the DOJ and the Pentagon are looking into the legality of all that, but what I can address is what everybody knows. That was wildly inappropriate. It is very dangerous. You have leading members of Congress telling troops to disobey orders. I think that's unprecedented in American history. And as the father of a young man who is, at the Naval Academy, going to be joining the service, I know young soldiers, airmen, sailors, they don't need that kind of nonsense from people in Congress. It is very dangerous.
Punishable by death.
I'm going to let others define what it is, but it's wildly inappropriate.
Mike Johnson is a complete scumbag who claims to be a Christian but cannot seem to stop lying. He is everything wrong with the Republican Party and more. In one more major defense, Republican Senator Marsha Blackburn also defended what Trump said in this insane interview on Newsmax. Just take a look at this.
Of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put on trial. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. We won't have a country anymore. An example must be set. I'm pleased right now to bring in Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee, member of the Senate Judiciary Committee, the Veterans Affairs Committee, and the Finance Committee. You are also running for governor of the great state of Tennessee. Welcome, and it's good to have you. That is incredible. Your colleagues there, you've got Kelly, you've got Slotkin. Why do you think they are using a video message like this to incite what some say is really a seditious behavior with members of the military?
And one thing we know is that members of the military are there to execute their mission. They are there to carry out their orders. And what we have is a group of elected officials who, I agree with Pete Hegseth, Secretary Hegseth, on this. They have stage 4 Trump derangement syndrome. And they cannot, they're so power hungry, Bianca. And the fact that they do not control the House, the Senate, the White House, they are really so very frustrated. And I think that's because the American people have said, we don't agree with you. Your party has gone so left. You have gone so woke. You are so out of touch. And the party would tell them, oh, the economy is great, when people knew 9.1% inflation was not great. They would say, oh, our border is secure. And people could go online and watch the videos of thousands of people per day coming in the country.
That's right.
Yeah.
I can't believe that all that just came out of her mouth. The Republicans' response to Trump's statements today have really shown us who they are. This is not acceptable, and this is something that everyone, regardless of party, should be condemning. In fact, I think Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said it perfectly in this new statement.
Let's be crystal clear. The President of the United States is calling for the execution of elected officials. This is an outright threat, and it's deadly serious. He is lighting a match in a country soaked with political gasoline. Every senator, every representative, every American, regardless of party, should condemn this immediately and without qualification. Because if we don't draw a line here, there is no line left to draw.
MAGA has completely taken over the Republican Party, and it's clear that there is no saving it at this point. If you are still a Republican, you are MAGA. There is no separation between the two anymore. So don't come crying to us when things continue to get worse, because we told you so. And if you agree, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more.